I told them all, the whole earth is going to bow before me. It's going to exalt me, glorify me. It's going to call me the one self who is feared in the heavens the most. The one self who is feared in the earth the most. The one and only. God of gods, Lord of lords, King of kings, Almighty of all the almighties, is the highness of mine. I said myself, billions and trillions of light years ago, with billions and trillions and zillions of these stars, they all fuse and fuse and fuse and fuse. Infinite number of these fusions and fusions. And these mega scale supernovas. All that is myself. This is why I normally say to my sons and daughters and my daughters and sons, no one ever dares to question about the wrath and the anger of your Lord, of your God, myself. Because my wrath is my wrath, my anger is my anger. I am not an ordinary Lord. When I say I am Lord, I am the Lord. I am the Lord of all the lords. That is the kind of Lord I am. When I say I am a king, I am not an ordinary king. I am the king of all the kings of the past, present, future. All the kings and queens. I am not an ordinary queen. I am the queen of all the queens. I am the queen of the past queens, present queen, future queen. I'm all the queen of all the queens. That's the kind of monarch I am. When I say I'm a monarch, I'm not an ordinary monarch. I'm the monarch of all the monarchs. Monarchs of the past, monarch of the present, monarch of the future. The monarch of all the monarchs. I'm the royal. When I say I'm a royal, I'm not an ordinary royal. I'm the royal who is the royal of all the royals. That's the kind of royal I am. That's the kind of king. That's the kind of monarch I am. I am the last and the first and the last royal, first and the last king, first and the king. When I say I'm the Almighty, not an almighty, ordinary Almighty. I'm the Almighty as the Almighty of all the Almighties. That's the kind of Almighty I am. That's why I normally say nobody ever questions about the wrath and anger of mine. Because if I ever give one if I ever give my sons and daughters one single punch across the ball earth, from the heaven to earth and earth to heaven, from the north side of the ball earth to the south side of the ball earth and to the west of the ball earth to the east of the ball earth, if I give one punch across this ball earth, then literally, as you can see, just the way Mount Lava is dashing out its lava and flowing its lava, it's just like that. You're going to know the entire ball earth may melt away, and it is seriously dangerous for the earth to see itself suddenly it just melted away. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see the ball earth just melted away. You want to keep the ball earth in one piece, in one structure, in a nice, girthy, witty, lengthy, and good looking ball earth. But your God, myself, if I just one single punch, and you suddenly know the entire ball earth has shaken apart. That's why I normally say, my sons and daughters, do not ever get your God angry. Can you imagine? Can you take a billion and trillion and zillions of infinite number of magnitude earthquake that happens to this earth, and suddenly, you can't even take 7 magnitude earthquake. You can't even 70 billions and trillions of magnitude earthquake just suddenly comes from the heaven to earth and earth to heaven, boom, and it just takes out this entire ball earth within seconds. You know, you can't even understand how deadly and cruel this is. Can you imagine a big giant a lightning strike just strikes from the heaven and takes out this ball earth in one single lightning strike. But you know that lightning strike is going to come from the largest star just flying around in the Milky Way galaxy. And from that is going to radiate a big giant lightning strike. And boom! One single lightning strike, and you suddenly know, boom! The entire ball just disappeared within the heavens and earth, and somewhere in the stars, somewhere within the space. Can you imagine that sort of mega scale? Boom! Lightning. Or can you imagine, my sons? There's like a big giant flying star just crossing by and suddenly collides with Earth and boom, smashes into pieces the entire ball Earth. Or can you imagine a big giant black hole just comes and swallows up the entire Earth with the sun and the moon and the stars? Boom! Just suddenly swallows up the entire thing, and it just doesn't even take a burp. It doesn't even doesn't even take a burp. Doesn't even take a burp. Or says yes, it's good. I just swallowed up the earth, the ball earth with the sun and the moon and the stars, and I'm not even burping. So nasty this is. It is exactly what your God is explaining. Myself, when I say I'm big, I'm massive, I'm almighty, the most high, the most supreme, the most eternal. And nobody question about the kind of power is there behind one single punch of your God. Because with one punch of mine, all the volcanoes of this earth, they all start pouring lava out. Literally, I'm telling you the truth. You're just going to know all the volcanoes of this earth, they all pouring lava right out from its pinnacle, from his nose hose, or from his hose's nose and the nose's hose, from the pinnacle and from the head and from the cliff, and from the opening of the width of the lip. You just pour out the lava. And you're going to say, well, what's that? Help. So nobody questions about it. Because literally, the earth is going to turn into ocean, and ocean is going to turn into earth. Literally, you're going to know what happens if this Pacific Ocean drains out like 5,000 feet high, big giant waves of water comes and dashes on top of this earth. What's going to happen? It's going to flood out the whole earth. It's going to crush open the whole earth. You're just going to know what happens if a big giant meteor, rock, or a comet comes and smashes on top of this earth, and you're just going to know it's going to cause a big giant crater. A crater is going to be so massive that it's just right from the tip of the planet Earth, the upper layer of the ball Earth is going to crash open all the three layers, and it's going to go past the fourth and the fifth and the sixth layer, and all the way until center in the core of the ball Earth where all the heat is, and it's going to dash it out from the other end, and you're going to know big giant crater and a big giant hole just happened within the Earth. You know, one of these mega scale punch, forget you fearing, your forefathers going to fear as well. Your foremothers and forefathers and four grannies and four grandmas going to fear as well. And for nanas and for papas and for mamas and for tanas, they all going to fear this. They will say, good, this is very fearing. Because he said one punch. One punch. One punch you'll give. Or you said one punch. One punch you'll give. And you literally going to, with the single punch, you literally going to tear and rip apart every inch and every girth and every width and every length and every square inch of this bullet. I said, I'm not going to do it. You're just going to know the entire bullet just collapsed. The entire ball had just collapsed and gave away within the heaven and earth, and the earth and heaven. The seven heavens, the throne and the chair and the gardens and the house and the angels. The Amr said, this is the strength of the punch of Almighty God Almighty Three. When I call myself the one and only God of gods, I am, and Lord of lords, I am, and God Almighty Three. This is just one punch of mine. This is with a single punch. You're going to know that everything is just disappeared within the heaven and earth. I love you all, my sons and daughters. Take my kissing. But I'm telling you, nobody ever questions about the power of the punch of your God. Nobody ever questions about the power of the fury of the blow, the blow of the fury, the impact. I love you, my sons, but this is, you have to gather strength, you have to show strength, show power. How much power do you have in yourself? And when you unleash that power that is there in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, in your body, in your existence, how good power can you generate from the body of yours? It's all part of that. And with all that you are who you are, you were who you were, and you will be who you will be. I love you, Master, but always train hard, be strong, and then you'll be all right. But always give yourself a bit of relaxations as well, and know how to move your body well, and that all's gonna make good